Alright, what's up guys? Today I have a special treat. I have the newest frame from XHover. I have not even taken it out of the packaging yet, so this is going to be a first for me as well as it is for you guys. I'm going to give you some initial thoughts, maybe talk about a couple things as I put it together, and then we're going to go fly it and get a Maiden and show you how it performs. Alright, so let's get started. Now keep in mind, guys, that this is just a prototype. This isn't the final design. It's a prototype that I've been sent to test out and give my opinions on. Just letting you guys hear my opinions as I do it. Okay, so what do we have in this kit? Well, for starters, we got what we always get. XT60 plugs, some stickers, battery strap, and some sticky tape. Set that aside, we don't need that just yet. All of our hardware, the PDB that I've come to know and love from XHover. And now we're getting into some of the interesting things. For starters, anybody that's familiar with the MXP200B, you know that it's a unibody. Well, with this frame, XHover has gone back to replaceable arms. I know some of you are going to love that, some of you are going to hate that. One of the things that I really like about that is now the carbon fiber is cut in the right way, so we're going to have a nice rigid frame. Hopefully that, I think that's going to still be true once we get everything together. So we got our arms, got our camera brackets, and ooh, we got all of our plates. So what do we got going on here? We have these holes right here. You can see one is bigger than the other. That's going to be where your the screws for the flight controller go. These that have the locking nuts are going to be where the hardware goes that locks in your arms. As I understand it, you won't even need to take the frame apart in order to get the to replace an arm. You just have to take out a couple of screws and go about replacing your arm. But we're gonna see just exactly how well that works in a minute. So for now, we're gonna go ahead and get started putting this thing together. All right, and we have our typical top plate. Daniel. Well, I can already tell you one thing that I'm not a fan of with this top plate. We just have too many holes. All right, well, I just got out of the close focus and now we're right back to it. The problem with this top plate is when you put a GoPro on it, the weight of that GoPro is going to be focused at the back. Because you got a strap that goes around the front and a strap that comes around here, and you got some kind of padding. I use foam, other people use different things, but the reality is the weight of that GoPro is going to focus right here on this slot. Now if you trace the minimal things to break in order to break this top plate, we only have to break here on the outside edge, here between those two slots, there, which is your biggest, which is only a couple of millimeters wide, and here. And then we've broken the entire top plate. I don't know who puts anything on these two side slots, but I'm guessing not many people, and I'm pretty sure we can move these back. Okay, so now we're going to start our assembly. So like I was saying before, we've got these two sandwich plates. Obviously the side that protrudes a little bit with the nuts that are going to lock in, that's going to go on the inside of our quad because it has the camera slots. This is going to go on the bottom. So let's get an arm, and we're going to need some bolts. Oops. And let's go to town. I do really like these standoffs, guys, by the way. They grip nice, and when you grab them with the pliers to tighten them down when you're installing them, you don't scratch the paint off, and so they continue to look great. Alright, we're not using that guy yet, though. Just some thoughts. Alright. Grab one of these. And we will need one of these. Alright, so we make sure it lines up with the hole. That can't be the way it goes. I bet that's the way it goes. That makes a lot more sense. that guy. Into this guy. Now just screw it down. Now I'm not going to tighten it down too much because this is going to be, I do have more to add on. Let's see here. Sorry guys, I've been working off screen. Alright, so as you can see, as it starts to come together, it gets to be fewer and fewer options of how you can fit these arms in. And so it's easier and easier to figure out exactly where they go and how they fit. Alright, see, that one is completely backwards. I do really like how these butt up against each other really nicely to give it some extra strength there in the center. Alright, so now once we have our 4 center bolts in, we're going to start putting in the standoffs. Oh shit, I should have not tightened those completely yet. See, these are the things you learn as you build a frame for the first time. It has nuances. Alright, so all assembled, the bottom half of this frame is actually pretty damn rigid. And when we put in the top plate to lock in these bolts in the position, it ought to get even more stiff. I have good feelings about where this frame is headed. Alright, so looking really close here, you can see how the bolts come through and protrude up a little bit. Now, typically on these, the MXP200B, above the bottom plate, you would just place a nylon nut between the bottom plate and the PDB to keep everything nice and short on the stack. Problem is with this, if all you do is that nylon nut, these bolts are going to end up scraping your PDB. So I'm going to have to put more between the bottom plate and the PDB. It's not a huge deal. It's just a little thing that I'm noticing here, pointing out to you guys as I go. Alright, so now we've got the whole frame together. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys behind while I go and install all of my components from a previous build into this guy and get her all set to go so that we can go do some test flying. Alright, I will catch up with you real soon and we'll be out in the field to do some flying. We're at a spot that you guys may recognize from some of my Instagram clips. I've never had a full video here, but I'm sure you know some people that have. So it's definitely a unique spot to Maiden. I don't think I would have picked it for my Maiden, but everything's ready to fly. I'm flying it today, and we got some special guests here in town who wanted to come here and fly. So this is where we're gonna Maiden the brand new XHover frame. Recognize anything? That's right, office space. So it's gonna be an office space kind of day. Everybody else is already here, and since they're not down here, I'm guessing they're all upstairs at the front of the place. Just kind of like a little park. It's a fun little spot to fly, get warmed up on before you come in, where there's lots of concrete and water hazards. So let's go hang out. We got Ethan, high flight. He's flying right now, and Mr. Final Glide himself, Chad Nowak, over there. So that's why we're at such a ridiculous spot for a Maiden. All right, I'm gonna go fly, guys. All right, boys and girls, brand new XHover frame, Maiden.
What is the purpose for dreaming at night? Can someone please tell me? I'm wondering why. See a mansion in the hills with the perfect wall. I know it's real. Daydreaming, daydreaming.
We got 2 packs in, flying in front of the office space, just getting warmed up. Had a couple of wiring issues, but that's just my setup, moving it over from a busted frame into this one. But now everything's working. I ripped through here. The frame is super light, very responsive, agile frame. I'm really happy so far. We're gonna take it inside the office space and try to do some cool freestyle stuff instead of just racing around underneath the canopy. And if all goes well, we'll see how it performs, and if all doesn't go well, we'll see how durable it is. So we'll see you over here in a minute. All right. Alright, now for my thoughts on this little guy. I've been flying it for about 3 days now, give or take. You guys came along with me on the first day. Got some pretty cool Maiden footage, ripped around, showed you just how fast and agile this little guy is. The last couple of days I've been flying with John and Phil and everybody, and really putting it through its paces. I haven't had any major crashes. I did have, as I mentioned earlier, the prototype top plate. I had an issue with while I was tuning at line of sight. It hit a little hard and ended up cracking that top plate. Yeah, it's not an issue. It's been resolved. I feel confident that Daniel has fixed the issue and XHover has come through once again with a solid frame. So let's see. Any issues? Number one, it's not an issue. It's something I actually like. The arms are a little bit thinner on this versus the MXP 200B. Gives you a little bit less drag. A little quirk of something that's different. I use neoprene sticky stuff that I get from Ready Made RC to hold my batteries on. Normally I just use a big square of it, but because of where these bolts are, it's kind of hard, and I kind of cut it into a bunch of pieces and made something work. It's not elegant. It works. Yeah, great frame. I love how it flies. I'm ready to swap my whole fleet over to this frame, to be perfectly honest. It was able to shed about 25 grams, and I don't think that I think it's going to be just as durable, maybe a little bit less with the thinner arms, but the fact that these arms are easily replaced and I don't have to tear down an entire unibody like this guy over here every time that I break one, I'm happy with it. So anyways, check back soon. I'm going to have some more flight footage, hopefully get another flight video up with this guy here soon, so that you guys can see some more cool footage. Thanks for coming by and checking it out. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things, and we'll see you next time.